Somerset recovered after a poor start with the ball, but it's still Durham who perhaps just have the edge after the opening day of the LV County Championship match at the Emirates Durham International Cricket Ground. Marcus Trescothick saw enough in the conditions to bowl first after winning the toss, but Mark Stoneman was off and running quickly, taking 10 off the first over, including this 6 off Lewis Gregory. But for the third innings in a row, Stoneman was out early as he nicked a cut off Gregory behind to go for 11. It was a real mixed bag from the Somerset attack early on. They had a terrible problem with no balls, with 30 of them coming in the Durham innings, now that each one cost 2 runs, the majority of those in the morning session. That, to some extent, allowed Durham off the hook, and Keaton Jennings and Scott Borthwick were able to bring up the 50 in the first 10 overs. It was all a bit chaotic. Borthwick had made 14 when he gave Peter Trigo his first wicket of the summer, as Craig Keyswetter grabbed his second catch of the day. Durham had been prevented from winning their first game in the defence of their title by a last-wicket partnership in Northampton, but they were making steady progress here at a ground where they were very difficult to beat last year. Indeed, few sides managed many batting bonus points at all on what was a result pitched for the most part. Jennings and Michael Richardson, who scored 2 50s in that draw in Northampton, were scoring freely enough, still helped by Somerset's no-ball problem, as they carried the total to 119 with a stand of 65 in 15 overs. Richardson was unable to make it a hat-trick of half-centuries, as on 29 this time he was undone by an extra bit of bounce from Jamie Overton and mistimed his shot to Gregory on the stroke of lunch. Jennings was as steady as a rock at the top of the order, and he completed his 50 with his 10th boundary off his 107th delivery after the break. He was beginning to move through the numbers rather nicely, much to Trescothick's frustration no doubt. He would have hoped for a bit more from his attack after winning the toss. The score read 157 when Durham lost their 4th man, Phil Mustard, trapped in front by Craig Macheda and being dismissed not for the first time this season when playing no shot. Macheda later had to leave the field with a side strain. That brought in Paul Collingwood to join Jennings, who continued to glue the Durham innings together, picking his shots out nicely. Somerset knew that this was going to be an important partnership, and so naturally it was one they wanted to end rather quickly. Durham had certainly not been afraid to play their shots throughout, and it wasn't too long before Collingwood was joining in. This beautifully executed pull shot flew over the ropes for a 6. He'd made 36 when he was plumb in front to Gregory, the pick of the visiting attack, and the only one who didn't have a problem overstepping. Collingwood departed with his side well placed on 219 for 5, but 3 runs later, Jennings also found some extra bounce from Gregory a problem, and he fed James Hildreth a catch at slip to depart on 80. Somerset would now have hoped to finish off the innings quickly, and everything was going to plan for them when Johan Myberg had Usman Arshad held by Trescothick on 5. At 238 for 7, Durham may have been pleased with just a couple of batting bonus points, but they managed to pass 300 for a third thanks to another good knock from Jamie Harrison, who appears to have moved on apace with the bat in his hands. He struck a career-best 65 last week and was soon putting bat to ball to good effect again. He was well supported by Gareth Rees, another man who kicked off this summer with a 50. He's having a rare run in the 4-day team and thus far is making the most of it with the bat. He and his young partner stuck it out for 18 overs to put on 65, passing that 300 in the process. That was a winning first innings total last year, but Durham will still be a little disappointed that they lost their last 3 wickets quickly. On 45, Rees was LBW to Trigo, who then removed Graham Onions in the same manner 4 balls later. And Chris Rushworth became the 5th leg before victim as Gregory wrapped things up in the next over with his 4th wicket. Harrison was left unbeaten on 37, made out of his side's 308 all out. That was the second largest first innings total at this ground in a couple of years, and Trescothick soon discovered how difficult it is batting here. He survived a big LBW appeal first ball before he was dropped by Breeze off Rushworth right at the end of the day, although to be fair it would have been some catch. Durham though will be encouraged by such things, even though Trescothick and Chris Jones saw out the 6 overs they were left with. It means that they have the chance to start the fight back on the second morning when they will go again on 7 without loss, trailing by 301 runs.